He just accidentally fell into nuclear wastewater, never expecting it would completely change the course of his life. But the moment he got in the car to head home and change clothes, his body started shaking uncontrollably. The next second, he coughed up a puddle of thick black sludge. At first, he brushed it off, but by the time he dragged himself home, he was hunched over the toilet, throwing up non-stop. Everything coming out was the contaminated water he'd swallowed. A bone-chilling cold had taken over his entire body. Even wrapped up in thick blankets, he couldn't stop shivering. What he didn't know was that his body was quietly mutating. But strangely enough, when he woke up the next day, his body had somehow returned to normal. In fact, he felt stronger than ever. Figuring he was fine, he headed to the construction site for work like usual. What he didn't expect was to walk straight into a gang shootout. A bullet sent him flying off the 18th floor. At that height, any normal person would be dead on impact. But to Geck's complete shock, he just lay on the ground unconscious for a few minutes before suddenly waking up. Geck froze in disbelief. Hadn't he just fallen from the 18th floor? How was he not dead? Remembering that the gang members were probably still upstairs, he bolted for home without a second thought. To his amazement, Geck ran for dozens of miles without breaking a sweat, as if his body was overflowing with limitless energy. But when he got home, he didn't have time to process any of it. The most urgent thing was dealing with the gunshot wound in his shoulder. Just then, his neighbors started making a racket. Already on edge, Geck was furious. He just meant to knock on their door and tell them to keep it down. But with one punch, he blasted a gaping hole straight through their heavy steel door. The neighbors were so terrified they went into hiding. Only then did Geck realize something was seriously off with his body. To test his theory, he pulled his wardrobe away from the wall, then gave it a light shove, and sent it flying across the room. Next, he turned his attention to the radiator. With a gentle tug, he yanked it right off the wall. Then he gave it a light squeeze and instantly compressed it into an accordion. Looks like after falling into that nuclear wastewater, he'd awakened some kind of superpower. To test it further, a bold idea suddenly hit him. He was broke and desperate after all.
Please like and subscribe.